Today's guest was FSU President from 1975 to 1976. After a brief departure, he returned to Fanshawe to be the first full-time building manager, serving for more than 30 years. Meet John Young, today's special guest. John,
how you doing?
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
It's a super pleasure to have you here. I'm so excited to hear all the stories you have to share.
Well, the first story, let's look at the list of what happened.
I'm
right here. You have to realize that for the first couple of years, the student union wasn't truly a student union. It was a booster club called the Red and White Society. The major change came with Robert Diebert, and then kind of changed over the years, and in '72 decided to incorporate and become a student union in the true sense. Back then, the Board of Governors was the real power. It wasn't the president's office. Now that changed over the years. The board became more of an advisory board. But in the early years, the Board of Governors was the power, and the president would have to report to them.
Wow. So it was basically a battlefield.
We changed from the Fanshawe Dam to the current name, the Intero Bank. We hired a new editor called Francis. Francis Fuca, A, B, C, and D. That was it. 4 buildings, under 4,000 students, and it was a community. Everybody knew everybody else.
And how many people were in the past part of the FSU?
We had the same number of VPs, right, for those people. Yeah. We still had student representatives. We had a great dynamic arts community here with technology and everything else.
That's amazing. What do you think if we go around just to visit some places?
Love it. The other thing I'm most proud of is this. I had a passion for our students. I had student leaders go to the end of the year shows to see what the fine art and photography students would do. And we purchased, if you look at the art around the campus over here, to bring that touch to our building.
I think most of the students, this is their favorite place, right?
Well, it's an escape. Again, it isn't industrial. It's not institutional.
And how was back in the days should you run to be a president? How was it?
Well, I came involved with the student union because I left to be in the rock and roll business. I came here asking to bring bands and everything. Now, there was a VP of entertainment. Well, he quit in October. And I started school September 1st, was involved in student leadership as a high school student president, all that sort of stuff, ran dances, ran bands, all that.
So you started as a VP?
I started as a VP the 7th week I was at school.
How was your campaign? And
well, back then, it's 4,000 students, and I tell this to any person that's running for any position, you have to get out and press the flesh. I was at one of the entrances every morning at 7 o'clock handing out flyers. Back then, there was no social media, right? I mean, you could buy an ad.
Right?
Yeah, you could buy an ad in the paper, but that only happened, paper only came up once during the election. So it was basically face-to-face, going to class. You weren't allowed to go to classrooms, but I would wait outside classrooms, the larger ones in D1060, and hand out flyers as people left.
How do you think the experience of being a president changed you as a person?
Well, it gave me the growth. It gave me a real growth and to see different sides. You weren't fighting with your peers, but you always felt your area was the most important. And it's gave me that balance.
And now we are arriving here at the Outback Shack.
Yes.
I know you have some good memories here.
This is my pride and joy.
Stories.
The first is looking at this. If you look up, this came out of a place called it was actually from the London Hotel in downtown London. It was bought by a mutual friend that owned a bar called Kipling's. We were going to put it as a centerpiece for our restaurant. It was supposed to be in the center. When Cricket was hired, they said, this isn't Fanshawe. Fanshawe is more tools and technology and everything else. This would be a great centerpiece as you walk in, so as a meeting area. But we agreed to leave it out here and do the Outback Shack.
What advice would you give to students that may be wondering if they should be part of a student leadership or run?
It is a wonderful opportunity as a person to help you grow as an individual. It gives you great direction and it helps on a resume. The experience of working at a student union and taking those responsibilities, working with a great staff, allows you to grow as an individual. And small things, I mean, how to conduct yourself in a meeting, because there's really no classes on how to act in a meeting.
And make a report, right? Make a report, minutes, be diplomatic, leadership skills.
Yeah. There's also a commitment, and you have to make in your mind, do you have that commitment outside your studies?
But you leave the college much more prepared,
Absolutely.
right? With lots of experiences,
Yes.
lots of exposure.
Yep. And become a better person, and you meet friends that you wouldn't have, and you also meet individuals associated with college. It also gives you impact, because at this campus, or at Fanshawe College, the administration does listen to the students. We impact the campus life.
Bus pass.
Bus pass, health plan. You know, we make our services that we supply to students help the whole student life experience. So they respect our opinion on how to bring out that student life experience for a positive for students.
Yeah.
You have a unique situation here to run for a position that's only going to help you grow.
And you have mentors, you have people to help you, like
Yep.
continuing the projects and
Everything else.
put everything on track. All right, so John, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a true pleasure. I'm honored to get to know you
It's
as
great.
the current president.
It's great to
It's
know
so
the
good to
past
hear those
presidents and
stories.
see who's made some future impacts.
Yeah, and you can come back here today and see all those good
It's
memories
great.
and your legacy. Your legacy is all over the place. So thank you
That's
very
great.
much for being here.
Thank you.